Hi, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of Spirituality is Simple. Today, we're really going to focus on August. Oh my god, it's been so quick. I can't believe we are not too far from August. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I really wanted to talk about a month where there's going to be so much potential to really reconnect to the tool of self-love. And we talked a little bit about the tool of commitment for July, and committing to yourself had a lot to do with expanding your heart to noticing what needs to be left behind, from mindset to habits to maybe people you're not resonating with anymore. Not that we need to blame them or judge them, but rather there's lack of resonating. Also, leaving behind all these fears that maybe you already proved to yourself they're not true. Maybe you already proved to yourself that they're not connected to you. So it's about really understanding what you want to be committed to and leave behind. So, August, the tool that I saw that will be the most beneficial is that self love, where you understand that there is no savior, as in there's no one coming in to save you. But when you truly connect to your spirituality and you connect to the creator, to God, and you see how co-creating and amplifying your heart with that self-love, there are ways to fall in love with yourself, where it doesn't mean that you completely disconnect from fear. It becomes a tool, and you can keep walking in life with whatever is shown in front of you, from either lessons or things that were a mistake, or things that were maybe that it is another opportunity to see it or view it or act on it differently, is going to be available. And you need a lot of self-love for that. You need a lot of self-commitment. You need those tools to make you feel strong. Why? Because August is showing up as either internally or externally. It's going to show you your potential. It's going to show you how far you can go, how much is being asked from you. It is almost like co creations from the past are going to come in and show you what you've been creating and ask you, do you want to keep going this way, or do you want to pivot? Is there something more aligned for you in maybe a mindset, a habit? What would be aligned for you, and why? Why would it be calling you more than something else? So it is a month to really reassess why you're doing what you're doing, how you're doing it. Sometimes it's not really about changing the goal, but rather reassessing how you're going about it. So your reactions, your actions, the teamwork, if you want to maybe expand, or maybe you've noticed exactly how you want to keep working in whatever bucket of life it is presenting itself. This isn't about telling the future. This isn't about a warning. This isn't about anxiety. This is about truly connecting to that side of you where you ask yourself, how am I truly using this tool of commitment? And how am I truly using this tool of self love? And self love goes beyond the habits, it goes beyond the self care, it goes really deep into how much emotional intimacy do I have with myself? How is my inner dialogue consistently speaking to me? How is really that connection to my heart pumping every single day? What direction is it leading me to? Is it leading me to the direction of just going for my wants? Or is it really leading me to the direction of those needs that are within that I need to respond to take care of myself? So when you learn how to take care of yourself, you understand that sometimes we have to do what we just need to do besides what we want. Why? Because what we need really activates these tools that then it gets us to what we want. And we stop skipping those steps at some point and understand that those steps are so important, although they might be uncomfortable, for that growth that we keep asking, and that we keep asking the external world to give us. August is going to really show us what it is to be our own best friend at a different level, at a different mindset. Our own best friend in a way where you get to truly create the best relationship with yourself, create a relationship where it is not about right or wrong, but rather consistency in the direction of how you want to feel versus consistency in the direction of what you should or shouldn't do. And the difference between both is not that we have to live by our feelings, is that we have to live by that inner team that understands that each tool within, so let's say my tool of happiness, does not depend on the external to make me feel happy. I know how to make myself happy. I know how to make myself truly understand my worth. I stop giving everyone else that responsibility. So August is all about noticing, what do I keep giving my responsibility to? Which usually takes us to blaming, and it takes us to feeling very isolated in a way where, well, I don't always get what I want. Okay, then what do you need? And you always have what you need to get what you want. So, what is it that you have right now? Sometimes what you have is something you need to solve. And as you solve it, you start understanding how you always had everything you wanted within you. You were just waiting or expecting it to come from someone else. So, August is all about that internal, almost like expansion. I keep getting this visual where everyone's hearts are expanding and the energy is just getting bigger and bigger. But it's almost like something inside of you is stretching and it's uncomfortable and it's new. So it's very powerful. It is a very powerful month where you get to sit down with yourself and really notice, what is it that maybe I keep connecting to because I keep either avoiding or not wanting to know about myself. This is a month where you're going to fall in love with it. You're going to fall in love with all those sides of you that truly show your biggest strength, truly shows that you get to be your own team. And that doesn't mean that you don't ask for help, by the way. That's always a good thing if you want to ask for help. But the action does have to come from you. The intention does have to come from you. We are having a month where it's all about, and I keep saying this since May, I believe, it is all about community. Stay connected to your community, stay connected to noticing what's around you. How are you staying grounded? Because staying grounded is really going to show you everything you already have. So you can start really understanding that inner wealth that is showing you that external wealth. What are you receiving from yourself? That is going to be like the most powerful thing you ask yourself throughout August. And let yourself expand. Personally, I've been traveling for the past month. I'm recording this July 25th, and I barely got to my hometown yesterday. And it has been such an expansive trip. It was extremely different than any of the other trips I've done over the years. If you've been listening to me for a while now, you know at least every 3 months I would travel. I've stayed for a month in some places. I've stayed for a few weeks. And this specific trip was extremely different because it was almost like I finally had mastered taking my inner home everywhere I went, to the point where no matter where I went, it felt very similar. It felt the same. It felt like I was in the same time and space. So it was almost like that mastery of my own energy, just taking it everywhere I go. And I have something I say every time I there's someone who gets a one-on-one with me. I always say people come to my energy so I can show them that energy of peace or whatever it is they need. I amplify that energy and people come to my energy. Well, this time that's how it felt. It didn't feel like I really went into the city's energy. It felt like I stayed in mine. And it was this, of course, it doesn't mean that I didn't do fun stuff or that I didn't feel the city's energy. I went to New York and then I went to Miami. It was more that my energy was so firm, grounded, and rooted that no matter what I went, I always got the same reflection that I am. Everything I was giving, I was receiving. So it was something so clear and so balanced that it even surprised me because it was beautiful. It was like, okay, I feel like I don't even have to polish a tool right now. So it was a lot of observation. I truly noticed way more. It felt like I got new glasses because when you start a healing process with me, I start telling you you're going to, start changing those glasses. You're going to see clearer every time that we speak or every time we go through a different process. Well, this time it felt like I was just wearing my glasses that I don't think I'll take off because that is it. It felt very grounding. And I got to really be able to walk around the city and notice others and notice how they live life. I love to see how people live their life and see how every city has its own personality, and that personality really has a lot to do with almost like the co-creation of everyone around. So I always notice how as we coexist, since the energy ends up being so close, we start really picking up on everyone's energy. And we start picking up on how people do things without even trying, without even like noticing. It's more of this telepathy that starts growing and it starts becoming like a wave. And it was just really cool to see how I was in my own energy and I was noticing everyone's like different frequencies as they were walking. But it all was very similar and it was just very magical to kind of see from an external perspective and notice even why certain people live in certain places. It's like they align to those places. And every time I go somewhere, the places I love the energy is Madrid. I love the energy in Madrid. I love the energy in Miami. That it feels a little more aligned to mine, where it feels spacious, there's space, but the energy is almost like, yeah, the energy is spacious and the tools are very connected to freedom to be, freedom to not really have to show. And it's funny because it goes in polar ways. There's opposite things going on, there's polarity there. There are cities where you can notice the freedom and you can notice the expansion, but then the biggest insecurity of the city is to not belong or to not be free. And I start noticing how, from what they truly are, the biggest fear is not being that. And that is kind of what August is bringing. What you truly are might just be what you're the most afraid of not having or not being or not being able to connect to. So it's about really grounding that energy and saying, okay, well, if I want it, that means I can recognize it. That means it's already a tool within me. So the question is actually, how can I activate that tool? How can I start using that tool? Why haven't I used the tool? Or have I been using it and not recognizing it myself? And I've been waiting for someone to recognize it from me. So it's a very expansive month. It is very fiery. That's why I'm wearing red. I was like, I need to wear red for this episode because that's how it feels, just fire. Everything's lit up. Either it's either going to burn down and transmute and you don't need it anymore and just let it fall apart, or it's going to be, that phoenix coming out of the ashes in the most beautiful way possible. So whatever is leaving, whatever it's showing you something you're not compatible with, let it go. That's the best thing you can do. Just let it go. Yes? Okay. Now, the master classes this month are going to be from the membership are going to be amazing. They're all going to be connected to building that relationship with yourself, building that connection to the tools of the month, and you're going to receive guidance from me. So for 3 of the master classes, you get very specific guidance, me just channeling for you. And on the live class, you get to ask any questions. So you get Q&A, you get questions, you get to participate. My goal is to help you and guide you through the energies month, depending on what you're truly going through. What is going on in your life? How are you becoming that phoenix coming out of the ashes? Because the next 6 months are the most transformative. They reminded me a lot of 2020 at some point where it felt like there was this exciting moment at the end to get out of that energy, but yet there was still work to do and there was still sadness. That's kind of the energy going on. So we want to truly use it for our greater good, the right energy towards the right direction. And that is what August is all about. Now, my little update about my life right now. Everyone's asking me, what's the plan? What's next? Where are you going now? I'm honestly just staying in my hometown. I do not feel like traveling right now. I feel like just being grounded, enjoying my family, singing, dancing, working out, of course, doing what I do, which is one on ones, which, by the way, I opened up new dates for August, and really just grounding a lot of creative ideas I have so that I can share with all of you that I'm so, so excited about, and noticing what I've been co creating over the 5 years. It's been 5 years since I really started this as something that I share to the world, as something that I started helping others. So after these 5 years, I really want to sit down and notice what I've been co creating, notice what I want to let go of, what has transformed in me, and truly I don't want to do anymore, and start a new path, start the new. There's so much new I want to start, and so much new I want to share, and even surprise myself. That is truly what I'm focused on right now. So I'm very excited to keep sharing. I will be definitely sharing a lot of dancing, car clubbing with my sister, that's for sure. I've been enjoying that and been missing that. And a lot of food. You all know my love language is food, so I'm always going to be sharing food and just everything I'm doing. But that is what August has for us, a lot of fire. When element fire shows up as I channel, it always reminds me of not throwing a tantrum when we want to hold tight onto something, but rather letting life take us to those next steps and letting the old go. It is very scary. The tool of fear comes up whenever you don't know what's next, even in your own identity. But I'm going to leave you all an exercise. What have you been dreaming about doing that you've been kind of stopping yourself from doing because you're too scared? Is it maybe trying out some dating? That has been a very common topic for my clients lately, some of them. The fear of dating, the fear of not meeting someone when you all are. Is it starting that business that you want to? Is it changing your job and starting a new one? There's points in life where we're like in a boiling pot and everyone is scared to take the next step, but we coexist. We're all together in this. There's no other way. So if we're all scared to take the next step, we're kind of going to have to. I have a client who wants this dream apartment, right? She wants her dream apartment, but she doesn't want to let go of the one she already has because she has history in it, memories. She has all this love for it. But then she dreams about a bigger one with this specific couch, with this specific long table. So she's in the in between. And I tell her, okay, you love this apartment, but you're already dreaming of a new one. You're already wishing a new one. You're already connected. You're feeling the call and you have the tools to get it. So, what if someone else is also dreaming of an apartment and the specific one is the one you're in? We're coexisting and we're co creating constantly. Whatever is in your divine plan is also because it will impact someone else in their divine plan. So once you move, someone's going to get their dream apartment as well. So I want everyone to pay attention to those impacts we have on each other every single day. Sometimes the decisions we make for ourselves are not just for ourselves. And that's what's the most beautiful thing of being human. That moment you do decide to smile, even if you're tired, it makes a huge difference. And I understand it's not about toxic positivity at all. At all. But it is about that responsibility of, if I'm stopping myself, what else am I stopping? It's not just my dream here. There are so many involved. So I do see 2026 being all about that type of maturity, where we become spiritually mature to understand that we are here impacting each other. We are here coexisting. We're here helping each other expand in many ways. So take that into consideration this August. If you're dreaming of a bigger house, who would be dreaming of the house you're in right now? Use that as a reality and as a metaphor in every way and form. But okay, my loves, I'm sending everyone a big hug. You got this. Bye.